Boy, it sure was a crazy election, and what's important is that we all voted and our voices were heard, and you know what? Whoever wins, the real winner is democracy and America. So with that, I just want to say to Mr. Biden, thank God we voted out the orange dictator, and now we can look forward to a wonderful new era of Joseph Biden, one of my favorite guys, and it's going to be so good.
Well, Josh, that is such a fucking great point. I just sat through the election of my lifetime, and I would be remiss of me not to, Mr. Biden. Hey, Mr. President, how about you suck my penis?
This country is horny and is constantly trying to get laid. If you could just make it a little more chill for people to party down, have a good time, and maybe shuck a little oyster, maybe we would have more people focusing on STEM education in the public schools and not on getting that STEM like in American Pie 9. And having said my piece, Mr. President, my good friend Charles Hobby also would like you to hear this from voters.
Mr. Biden, have you even fucked Grant?
We did it, baby. We did it. 9 movies. Woo! They said we couldn't do it. They said Josh and Charles can't and shouldn't watch 9 American Pie films, but for some reason we did. And you, listener, have been with When Will It End, the movie podcast. We watch the movies. We watch the 9 American Pie movies, and now we're done.
I'm drinking mulled wine.
Wow.
Fresh out of the microwave. Yeah.
Fresh out of the microwave.
Yeah, let me get a little in the clear here.
I'm slurping on that here. Oh, he choked on the wine. Oh, he spit it back out. Good stuff. He hit the mic. Don't cut any of that. That was gold. Yes, look at him go. I'm
spicy.
drinking. It's so spiced, this mulled wine.
Wait, let me get some. I got tannins, of course. It's all in my fucking mouth.
Yeah, you're an absolute mess.
It's like a star anise was ripped out of my asshole and put down my mouth.
And if they're talking about star anuses being pushed down their mouths, you know it's When Will It End, the movie podcast. We watch the movies. We start with American Pie 1, then watch somehow 8 more movies, and now we're done.
We don't know what happened.
What do you mean with what happens? Like with Jim and the gang?
No, we do not know. We started with 1, and then I don't know what happened. It's 2 months later. It's election night. We just watched American Pie presents Girls Rules. Sorry, American Pie presents : Girls Rules.
Because 2 reasons. 1, the future is female. 2, this is what democracy looks like. Pussy hat. That's all. Go ahead.
What's a pussy hat?
During Women's March, the women, they wore the pussy hats, and it was great because this pussy grabs back, and it was about Orange Man. And so, Charles, I'm going to give you 2 versions here. Just keep the one that's appropriate. Thank God we voted out the orange dictator, and now we can look forward to a wonderful new era of Joseph Biden, one of my favorite guys, and it's going to be so good. And then here's the other one.
Okay.
I, for one, welcome another term of Trump. He made America is so awesome what is going on, and I'm just we should do it more like this, and it's so good. And now we can all get back to just making American Pie movies. Okay, so just use.
I like that you, as an ambassador of the podcast, just want to make sure we're on the right side of history.
Well, you can record. Why don't you record a couple, and we can just have those on file, because we're recording this again before the big election is over. So,
right.
Charles, let's hear one. If Joseph Biden won, let's hear your message to listeners. And slate, go.
Hey, Mr. President, how about you suck my penis?
That's pretty good. Okay, let's do one if the Orange Man, he win it again and is going to be president more. And give it to me, baby.
Hey, Mr. President, Why don't you lick? You gave me the eyebrows. Wow, that is...
I got so excited. Okay, let's end it. We'll go take 2. Charles' message to the Orange
Okay.
Man on term number 2.
I'm not going to look at you.
Hibbity, go.
Hey, Mr. President. Lick my butthole, Mr. President.
That's pretty good. Now we have 2. We just edit together. Just obviously all the shit I'm saying right now. Just edit all this out, and we'll just run with.
I have a very
messages.
precise marking thing where I know exactly. Once I'm done with the record, it's like I have a series of Santa's elves. Just they get in there, they look through all the notes, and I'm doing it. I don't have Santa's elves, but it's so easy because I make notes. I mark things. I write things down during the record. Yes, the laptop is on the floor. Yes, I drop things all the time and don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm a wizard, baby. I know exactly what to do. You don't have to tell me how to do my job.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to make it clear that. Oh, we have to set them up too. Okay, so I'm gonna just do a one blank thing you can use to plug the other stuff into.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Okay.
Yeah. I'm ready. Got my notes.
Boy, it sure was a crazy election, and what's important is that we all voted, and our voices were heard, and you know what? Whoever wins, the real winner is democracy and America. So with that, I just want to say to okay, Mr. Trump, Mr. Biden, and then just do one of those. I just want to. I said that part. Fuck.
No,
I just
okay. Wait, I should just take over at this point.
Okay, yeah.
Because you did your thing. Now we need to put in mine.
Okay, and I know you do your thing. Okay, go.
Well, Josh, that is such a fucking great point. I just sat through the election of my lifetime, and you know, I would be remiss of me not to, Mr. Trump, Mr. Biden, and then we put it. Yeah, great. We're all set, man.
That was good.
I'm gonna put if we have. I will let you know this is real. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna leave all this shit in, of course. I'm not gonna edit this shit out.
Oh God.
But
okay,
I
fine.
will, before the opening credits song, I will edit together our message to the president.
Yes, this is great.
There will be an opening.
We should bring in one important issue each forward to the president.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is mine's for either president who wins. Whether
So you're just
it's
gonna do
the
one
guy-
for both. One for both.
Yeah. Because I think this is an issue that has gone unaddressed for too long. This country is horny and is constantly trying to get laid. If you could just make it a little more chill for people to party down, have a good time, and maybe shuck a little oyster, maybe we would have more people focusing on STEM education in the public schools and not on getting that STEM like in American Pie 9.
Cool.
So that's my message to the president.
So you're taking a very American Pie 9. That's the policy you'd like. You'd like to everything in the White House, whatever happens, 2021. You want an AP 9 focused policy agenda.
Look, American Pie 9 reminds us that not only are men disgusting, but women are fucking awful. And
Filthy.
Women are disgusting too. And they're so focused on slamming and getting slammed and doing sex that they're barely paying attention to what matters, which is STEM, science, education, man. And they need to focus more on that, right? That's fucked up.
That was your big takeaway from Girls Rules.
Well, I just think that a girl could be president. Probably not in my lifetime, but maybe in my kid's lifetime. And they're not going to get it friggin' trying to do sex on Grant, okay?
Right. But I think doing sex on Grant is an important part of becoming president.
That's true. I do think whoever is president should do sex on Grant, and that's big for me.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this should be after the previous, like, overarching message to the president. This can be my message to the president, which is, have you fucked Grant?
No, hold on. Let me set it up. And having said my piece, Mr. President, my good friend Charles Hobby also would like you to hear this from voters.
Mr. Trump, Biden, have you even fucked Grant? Thank you. Yeah. Have you even been in a room with Grant while wearing vibrating underwear?
Mr. President, can you name even 4 of the posters on Grant's walls because I noted them all down.
That's great. Mr.
No,
President.
Charles, I was joking. I was asking you that. Can you even name... Can you name 3 posters on the wall of Grant's room?
No, I didn't
If you fucking love this podcast so much and give it such a big shit about it, always bothering me about recording episodes and shit,
yeah.
Why don't you fucking tell me at least 3 posters on Grant's fucking bedroom wall, or I swear to God, we will start this entire segment over again and watch American Pie, and we'll do all 9
We're
again.
just we're gonna have to rewatch every movie.
If you can't show me your dedication to cinema and list a number of posters on the wall of Mr. Grant Fisher, I think is his name.
I think I took some notes.
You think okay? Get a load of this guy, listener. He thinks he took some notes. Well, that's good.
No, I didn't. I have 3 notes. Okay. So you want to hear them?
Yeah, please.
Good start so far. Jacking off to JFK. New Stifler. That keg was empty. Those are my notes for in my watching of American Pie 9.
That about sums it up. A pretty riveting 95 minutes. We have Girl Stifler. There you go. That's one for the history books.
I mean, I don't know if we want to do this now, but we do have to update the alignment chart and add the new Stifler to the boards.
I would argue Stephanie is chaotic good because while she's sexual and very forward like a Stifler, she really doesn't display any of the rapacious attitude of the rest of her family. So I guess I while I find her full of spunk and maybe unpredictable, I don't think she qualifies for anything less than chaotic good. That's my 2 cents. I said what I said.
Well, that was good. I will say this. I would lobby for her to be put into lawful good.
Really?
I mean, as the title of the film warns us, this is about rules. And she's one of the 4 founding mothers of the rules. And she acts by the rules.
Yeah, this is pretty woke.
Yeah, so she acts by the rules she created about being a good sister and a good, friend, whatever. And I honestly, she's good, and I think she follows the rules. She makes the rules. I'm going to put her in as lawful good unless you have a counter argument.
Well, can we compromise on neutral good maybe? Because it seems I do think she has a certain verve. All right, you know what? You're right. I guess because we've called Matt Stifler chaotic good, he truly is chaotic.
That's what I'm saying. If you compare a Matt to a Stephanie, they're so different, no question. Matt is chaotic. He fucking oboes. He's spiking the Kool-Aid with Ipecac. She doesn't do any of this shit. But
she does follow the rules, the laws of Stiflerhood, which is to be horny. So I guess you're right. She's lawful good. She's good.
Is horny chaotic? No.
I'm fucking agreeing with you, bro.
Okay, great.
This is the problem in this whole country. And now that the election solved it, we can all move on, I guess. But,
yes.
People, we have different... Sometimes we're both saying the same thing.
And we're just thinking from our own minds.
But we're thinking different thoughts from our hearts. Wow. And then we tweet those things. And then they get retweeted and ratioed. And people get doxxed.
Wait, what's ratioed?
Don't worry about it. You're young and beautiful. Never change. Yes, so here are some things on the walls. I put together sort of like, Grant... Let's get down to it. All the disgusting girls in this movie just want to bone, and it's horrible. And they decide they're all going to bone Grant. Grant's the hunky hot guy. He's the new guy in school. His mom is the principal. Principal having sex with one of the main lady's dad, and he's a filth. He's a father I'd like to fraternize with, if you catch my drift. By the way, why not? They did a lot of good people yelling. As in the sidelines in this movie, that was a good running bit in this. But they could have brought in like a filth or like a dilf girls.
Wait. Oh, I see. You mean to like really bring it back to the original series,
right? Like they late in the movie, Emmett throws in a band camp joke, and we all appreciated it. We all love Emmett. Emmett got big hog. He's a nerd. He wears a vest.
Yeah, he has huge hog. I love that was like a plot point of the movie was that Emmett has a huge hog.
Yeah, Emmett's dragging around something twixt those skinny little legs, and it's a penis. But hold on. So on the walls of Grant's bedroom, we learn a little bit about Grant. And no, I'm not just talking about his Plasmatics shirt, which was admittedly cool.
It was cool.
I'm talking about his 40th anniversary of the famous LA punk band X poster on the wall. He's got inexplicably a Dr. Hook poster, which is like it's a band. It's fine. 70s rock band. They're not the most aggressive choice, I suppose. And then maybe the key, that Pablo Cruz poster.
Wow.
Another completely anodyne selection. And then that's contrasted with there's just a poster of a guitar and then just a poster of a saxophone.
I mean, that tracks.
Yeah.
He loves the saxophone.
He loves the music of the saxophone. And honestly, who among us has not had their hearts and minds blown, so to speak, by the horn that John Coltrane made into an instrument of the gods?
Did you take the fucking greatest online quiz of all time about what size jazz boy are you?
Oh, man, that sounds like a clickhole joint.
Sure is.
I don't know if I did. How big was you?
I'm a small jazz boy.
That makes sense.
Do you want to take the quiz on the episode, or is that
Yeah,
too
let's do it.
silly?
I'll bring it up. Okay,
Well, no,
so...
Okay, do you want me to read you the questions?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
do
you read me the questions. That's
Okay.
good. That's good
what
thinking.
size jazz boy... What size jazz shoes do I need is a question that is recommended to me. I will skip
Hey, let
that.
me answer you with this. If you're swinging, if you're vibing, any shoes is jazz shoes. You can ask me about that because I know about jazz. Okay, Charles, let's get down to it.
Here we go. And if everyone wants to take the quiz and tell us what size jazz boy they are, feel free. It's just search. Don't get conned by Google. Do not look for the size shoe one. Go to, are you a big jazz boy or a little jazz boy from Clickhole? Question number 1. When you're honking on your horn, how big is the bugle blasting? You have 4 choices.
Okay.
Tremendous, petite, regular bugle blast, big blasting bugle for the boys.
Oh, it's fucking tremendous, dog. It's a
Tremendous. So when you're honking on your horn, it's a tremendous bugle blast.
Yeah, when I'm letting one rip, you best believe it's tremendo.
All right, Josh. When you hear the word jazz, how loud do you scream? And again, you got 4 answers. Extremely loud, massively loud, deafeningly loud, or only a little bit loud.
Well, hold on. Can you say the word jazz again?
Yeah. Jazz. I wasn't in the room with you. I'm not going to say deafening, but how about massively?
I mean, I love me some jazz music. You ever heard the
Josh, I'm going to cut you right off. I have heard.
Okay.
And I get it. I'm going to put you down for an extremely loud.
You heard of this jazz thing? The kids love the jazz.
You know, but not most kids. Grant loves the jazz.
Oh, Grant is look, Grant's a young person.
Sure.
I think he's been adequately sexualized in this film. I will not pile onto that, and I will not say something inappropriate about Grant, but I would happily sit down with Grant and listen to some jazz music. I think that's not something I'm not going to get, hoisted by my own petard for saying that.
I would like to say that I think we're going to talk about the movie in a bit. I do need to know what size jazz boy you are, but one big letdown with this movie was that Stephanie, I mean, if this were like a more realistic movie, Stephanie, upon hearing the lovely, whatever jazz you're listening to, whether it's bebop or
rocksteady. No, I'm just kidding. Those are the guys from the other ones which you saw.
She would have
the Turtles.
The plot of this movie would have quickly shifted into Stephanie's appreciation for saxophone and jazz as a whole, and yet she listens to it a little bit and then just doesn't like it, which I found strange.
Right. Can you imagine hearing jazz music and not liking it? I personally, for myself, from my experience, based on what I've experienced in life, based on the things that I've experienced and the jazz that I've heard, I freaking love jazz music. So I was surprised at that. I think I don't know a lot about young people because I'm threatened by them for a variety of reasons.
They're terrifying.
But I think most teenagers love jazz, just like me.
Just give it a chance. I mean,
yeah.
Insert president name. Loves jazz, and if they're leading this country, you gotta love the jazz too. I think that's how it works. Josh, number 3, how big does your body grow when you hear the jazz? When you hear the jazz unfolding, do you triple in size? Do you become 10 times as large?
Wow.
Do you actually shrink, or would you prefer not to answer?
It is an intimate question.
I know, but
the degree of my engorgement when I hear the jazz music, I get real freaking big. 10 sounds a bit. Look, I'm not a man of science. I think that's something we've established on the show.
It's ridiculous.
I've performed the scientific method on a anatomy test or two in my day. Talking about doing sex. I've done it.
Sex.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
How big does your body get? How big does your body get?
I'll say prefer not to answer. I don't know. I'm a little coy. I can play it a little safe. Yeah,
I think a big jazz boy might be coy. We'll find out.
We'll find out together here on the show. When will it end? The movie podcast. We watched 9 American Pie movies and feel normal.
But first,
having a normal one.
Question number 4. How do you feel about the Ocean of Trumpets? I'm in love with the Ocean of Trumpets. I'm going to say I am in, but it's you. So when I say I, imagine it as you thinking about it.
Can we get into that idea for a minute?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you've lived another life of someone else's, and it's not yours, but you did it, but it isn't you? And then you're like, well, who am I? What was I doing? Who was that? You know?
Josh, this might sound pretentious. This might sound like I'm pulling your leg.
Oh, well, not during COVID, I hope.
No.
It's too close because of the communicable disease.
Yeah, no, I'm not touching your leg. Don't worry about it.
I'm so isolated. It's just,
what if you had 8-foot legs? Could I pull on your leg?
I think the point is that you need to not be near the leg, regardless of the size of the leg.
So the leg, but your leg is very far away from your nose and your mouth hole. But anyway, don't worry about it. I won't come near your leg.
Yeah, who are you, a Stifler coming near my leg? Okay, having some fun.
Every time I watch a movie, Josh, I feel that way. Every time I sit down in the dark or have the lights on, I don't know. Every time I watch a character be cast in the limelight, I feel that way. I wake up and I'm like, was that me? Or was that some fiction? Some just vanishing void that was once full of bubbles and hope?
Well, for me, it all started as a kid because after seeing a movie, I went around telling people that the Toon Squad drafted me to go down to Looney Tunes Land and help save them from a bunch of aliens who were also basketball players. And people were like, no, that was the movie Space Jam that you saw. And I was like, no, it happened to me. I have that memory. I remember that happening. Like,
right.
No, you saw a movie. And I've just been struggling with that, honestly, since the mid-'90s.
I remember the infamous Space Jam story. This is like basically how we met. Or not how we met, but before we met, I only knew of you as the Space Jam boy.
Hey, listener, remember How I Met Your Shut the fuck up. Remember How I Met Your Mother, the show? This is how Charles heard about me.
Right.
How
So I used to work in a movie theater called the Amherst. Shut up! Don't worry about it. I used to work at the movie theater.
How I met my podcast co-host.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'll fix it in post.
Please.
I used to work at a movie theater called the Amherst Cinema. Everyone there was going on and on about Space Jam Boy. And I was like...
Okay, now you're making it like I was like the perpetual whipping post for this fucking
Josh,
shitty little nonprofit.
You weren't there, and you sort of were. Every time I was like, should we do a midnight screening tonight? They're like, oh, don't tell Space Jam Boy. And then I found out later that Josh... what's it called? A mob swarm? What's it called?
It's a mob swarm. It's a mob swarm. Josh
mob swarmed the Amherst Cinema.
Let me defend myself.
All right.
Because... honestly, what I'm hearing is a lot of anti-Semitism. I was told by someone who will not be named, Barry Benham, who I grew up with in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, that there was a midnight screening of Space Jam, a film that I was a fan of because 90s kids will remember.
I mean, I'm an 80s kid, but I guess I came of age in the 90s.
Look, for millennials like us, there's 2 things you got to know. Nerf gun, Space Jam. And what happened is that I was told about the Space Jam screening, and I said, oh, that's fun. He said, yeah, bring some friends. So the attitude as expressed to me by an employee of the cinema was not, oh, welcome to our clandestine Fidelio Eyes Wide Shut fuckfest. Okay, it was come see a friggin' movie you love because you're a millennial, 90s kids will remember, and some 80s kids. And I thought it was going to be fun. And now as you've made clear to me for the years, I was actually hoisted, let me finish, by my own petard.
Yeah, they got you. You know why? I think what they did was Amherst Cinema does have the good cop, bad cop of employees there, where some of them are fucking loose motherfuckers like me. You know, I would have let you come in with 1,000 friends.
And just to be clear, when Charles says loose, he does mean it in every way. His penis hole just flops open. It's just this big, stretched out, gaping maw.
I sometimes lose coins down there.
You've lost a coin in your urethra?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, it's a very tricky, no, never happened. And then there's this other guy that used to work there that he would...
Wait, so you didn't lose a coin in your penis hole?
No, I've never done it. I'm sorry.
Why'd you tell me that?
I don't know. I thought it would be fun just to
I was
think about my
impressed.
Penis hole, having coins in there.
This is like when I found out that Michael Jordan gambled on basketball.
Josh, this is... So what I just thought this whole story...
I need time.
I thought a story in my head where my penis hole was large. And you know when you're sitting on the couch and sometimes change just falls out of your pocket and then you're like, oh, I need to go buy a candy bar. So you
Charles,
rifle
I already
through the
ordered
couch.
you an embroidered hoodie that says, congratulations on your big loose penis hole, Charles.
You can still
remember
get me
when
that.
you lost a coin in it?
Okay, never mind. You can't get me that anymore.
Well, Jesus God.
I can still lose, but I'm just saying, like, what if in the same way that one might rifle through the couch to go buy a candy bar or a ice cream treat from a local, a gas station? What if I got to the gas station, I pull out my pockets like they do in the cartoons, and a little moth flies out, and then I go like this. I'm just pointing up in the air because I don't know, I might do that, and then I wouldn't take my pants off, but I might just give it a shake, and then you'd hear a coin hit the floor. I am in love with the ocean of trumpets. I want to drown in the ocean of trumpets. Bugles swim in the ocean of trumpets like fish. I have mixed feelings about the ocean of trumpets.
Well, I would never say the last one. That's fucked up. I would say bugles swim in it because I like that image.
Yeah, it's really
beautiful. Nice to
beautiful.
think about little bugles. And the bugles are like the babies and the trumpets are like the mom and dad.
I love that. All right, you're locked in.
Sorry. Breaking election update. Nothing yet.
Josh, this will be released on Monday.
Well, I know a lot of people have told me they're waiting for our podcast.
They're bunkering down.
They're bunkering down. And
staying away from the internet until Monday, November 9th.
They have jammed pencils through their eardrums and will only pull them out when our podcast drops and they can learn about President. I did want to run this up the flagpole, see who salutes it. Governor Charlie Baker here in Championland, Massachusetts, he said he blanked it, his presidential vote. He didn't vote for anyone for president, which is that, I'm not sure if that's like,
such
like
a
what
fucking
level of
loser. I mean, I did that.
Yeah,
I fucking did that.
It's just funny. It's funny to me that when you're a centrist Republican in 2020, the Republican Party hates you because they've put all their dogs behind the orange pack leader, and Democrats think you're annoying or just kind of vote for you just like reflexively because it's Massachusetts. So it just feels like, come on, man, pick a side or write in something funny.
Yeah, no, he sucks. He realizes he's fucked because there's no way a Republican can, especially in Massachusetts. It's crazy that we've been more than half of Massachusetts governors have been Republican, and I think that's going all the way back to the 1700s. It is nuts that we still elect them, and this is it. There's no distancing yourself from Trump. So being your fucking coward, Charlie Baker self, being like, no funding was taken away from the police except for like $6 million in overtime budget. He sucks. He's going down. We're going to get someone cool next, whenever that is.
And now that Charles has set it up, Charles has a little announcement to make. Charles, take the floor. What is your news about the next governor race in Massachusetts? Charles, this is your time.
Wait, what do you mean? What's going on? I wasn't
Charles
prepared
is
for this.
running for governor. He is running as a member of the Green Party, and it's a wink after because he means the Weed Party. We're finally going to make smoking weed mandatory. And Charles is going to ride the green wave all the way to the top of Beacon Hill, where he's going to smoke a big old doop with Ben Franklin's skeleton.
Josh, you know what I say? 420.
I'm his fucking campaign manager. We are not taking questions at this time.
Except for this question, do you strongly agree, somewhat agree, neither agree nor disagree, somewhat disagree, or strongly disagree with the following statement?
Let me sip my coffee. Go ahead.
Every night, I dream of the Bugles.
Yeah, I strongly agree.
Strongly agree, no question. All right. Number 6, when you blow your bugles, who comes out of your trumpet? Now, this is a hard one. You have to maybe even shut your eyes and put your thinking cap on, because I'm gonna read you 4 illustrative, imaginative.
Let the record show.
Yes.
Let the record show. My eyes are closed.
Mm-hmm. Coffee's up.
Coffee's up. Hat is on already. It's a cool hat. I'm not
it
taking
is a cool
it
hat.
off.
I really like it.
Thank you. I'm a big fan. It's my new favorite hat. Bank it. And I am now ready to... Let me tell you something about the imagination, Charles. My eyes are closed. Are you paying attention?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I can't tell. My eyes are closed. I'm just trying to respect your request.
No, I'm looking right at you.
Okay. We talk about movies almost every week on this podcast. Many weeks, I would say. We talk about movies. Is that fair to say?
I mean, yeah, most weeks.
What if I told you had a free movie pass to the greatest movie theater ever created?
Which movie? Yeah,
It's your imagination. It's your imagination.
I'm excited.
It's your imagination. And because of it, you can imagine it so many teen sex comedies with that mind. You don't even have to rent so many American Pie movies and not ever see that money again. You can just imagine them.
It's amazing.
And that's, you know what?
Wow, I'm doing it right now. Oh my God.
Are you going to hear the politicians talk about it? No. They're going to tell you got to get a streaming package on your Roku just so you can think of things in your head. Well, guess what? I hate to shatter your perception of reality, which, by the way, is a collectively agreed upon illusion. But you got a free movie theater. It's called imagination. Okay, fire away, Charles. Give me my thought candy.
All right, let me reread the question.
I'm trying to find my straw. One sec.
Yeah, no, just use your tongue. You hit the mic.
Fuck.
Oh,
okay,
God.
my eyes are still closed. Okay, fuck. Go ahead.
All right. When your bugle... Fuck.
Start it again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When you blow your bugles...
And we're in the clear, and go.
When you blow your bugles, who comes out of...
I thought you hit it a little hard.
When...
Maybe try it.
Okay,
Try a take where it's just kind of fleetingly off the tongue.
When you blow your bugles, who comes out of your trumpet? The tremendous Jasmine Miles Davis comes out of my trumpet, and he sprints away into the forest. A minotaur crawls out of my trumpet, and he tells me that I am his wife. I crawl out of my own trumpet, and then there are 2 of me. The beautiful piano man, David Brubeck, crawls out of my trumpet, and then this happens. Brubeck and I stand in the dark, holding hands.
Okay, well, a few reactions to this prompt. And thank you for asking me to close my eyes. I did find it to be like a trip to the greatest movie theater in the world, and it's free. Do you know what I'm talking about? My imagination. One, can I open my eyes now or no?
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you think it'll help you with the podcast, you can keep them shut, but it seems like you are stumbling around a little bit at this point.
I'm in the dark, so to speak, and literally, too. Am I talking near the mic?
No, you should open your eyes. You're really missing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, levels.
We scrapped that.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
We're going to have to just do that whole over again?
Yeah, let's start from the top. Welcome to When Will It End? We did it.
Mr. President.
I'd just like to congratulate...
Suck my balls.
Big penis hole. I've lost coins in it. Yes. So, look, you set me up for this, so sorry. I've met Dave Brubeck.
Oh, yeah?
So my memories of him are a little more punchy than simple fans. I consider myself not a close friend, but friendly with Dave.
Yeah.
He played jazz music with my little brother once, and my little brother sat at the same bench as him. We have plenty of photos of it, and I got to meet Dave Brubeck.
Can you get us one of those for the podcast, for the Instagram account?
I could.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's
Great.
above my parents. Well, I'll have to have Sam do it. It's COVID-19. I don't know if you've heard about this, but I'm not going to go into my parents' house right now. I don't live there anymore. I'm a big boy. I'm going to be married by the time this podcast is out.
Well, Josh, before you say that you're a big boy, you might be a small jazz boy, so hold your horses.
Okay. A horse is
We'll
hell.
find out what size. We'll find out what size boy you are.
Hey, look, the thing about this podcast that's so important is that while we're friends and we give each other a hard time sometimes, you still got to call balls and strikes. So I was out there saying, oh, I'm a big boy. Look at me. I'm a big boy. And you were like, well, we don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know, but I got another question for you. We only got two more.
Well, hold on. I'm not done.
Oh, right. You haven't even answered the question.
I met Dave Brubeck. He had very old hands. His wife was very nice. He was very nice to my brother. So I love Dave. Big love for Dave.
So,
and like Miles, love the guy. Kind of a wild cat. He loved heroin, sex, and crack and stuff. I always say Minotaur. I was raised to say Minotaur.
Yeah, you were raised to say a lot of things wrong. So maybe you could learn from me and just sort of know that it's not compass, it's not Minotaur, it's not
compass. It's compass.
It's not Darf or whatever you say.
Dorf. Oh my
Darf.
God, the anti-Semitism that just rolls out of you like a mighty stream. And no, I'm not talking about the stream from your loose penis hole.
Yeah, that's change, coinage.
I guess I don't really want to imagine the Minotaur coming out because he's scary and he's a big bull man with an axe or something. Not for me.
Minotaur is a beast.
Just like
it's like an ox,
just like me in the sack.
Yeah. So, which are you answering David Brubeck, or is he too close that you don't actually want that to be a part of your?
No.
Do you want two of you out there?
Oh, no. I would say I am not presumptuous enough to say that I can summon the spirit of Miles Davis, one of the greatest jazzmen to ever perform the music of jazz. And Dave's a friend. I'm not going to rope him into this. He's a friend, and that's not what you do with friends. Dave Brubeck is my friend. I would say the goal of any artist, and am I an artist? Oh, gee, I don't know. I guess so. Is to summon the deepest nether realm of your own soul. So I am gonna go ahead and say that it's me coming out of my own bugle.
All right, great. All right, so this I have to show you a picture. It's a visual question. So unfortunately, the listeners at home will maybe have to just deal with you describing the picture.
Oh well, I mean, I am as many who I have sexed have remarked. Extremely detailed.
Are you ready?
Please.
That actually was really perfect.
Okay, so what you're showing me is a similar image to what I saw on Grant's bedroom wall in American Pie 9. It was a saxophone.
All right, and then the question is, do you know who this is? And here are the answers. Here are the presidential answers. It is my sweet, beautiful wife, my glistening wife. That is a picture of me. That is saxophone, Sultan of Bugles. And that is my tremendous son who makes the music, my gigantic baby boy whom I am afraid of.
I'm not a father, and I'm going to go... Look, I know this is supposed to be like fun and funny, so I don't want to be boring. I don't want to be boring. No, I don't want to be boring. I don't want to be boring. But that is the saxophone king of bugles. I mean, come on. I know a friggin' saxophone when I see it.
Yeah, saxophones. You know a saxophone when you saxophone.
I think the thing with these quizzes is that, like...
They're truth.
There's a lot of truth in them. They get down deep. And like, look, I get that. Look, the thing about comedy... Look, give me like 10 minutes on this, and I'll keep it short. The thing about comedy is that nowadays I'm getting my news from the comedians, not the news. And comedy, like there's truth in comedy, and the thing about good comedy is that you're telling the truth, and good truth comes from comedy. So, well, as much as there are silly answers to this, there's also a lot of truth in it, and that is a saxophone.
I mean, I can't argue with any of that. I loved it all. Josh, you got one last question before we discover your size. This is just a yes or no question. You can just tell me straight out, or you can lie to me. Is your body swollen with trumpet jelly?
Yes. Easy.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Discover your...
I think me and the listeners are on the edge of our seats to find out the answer to this online quiz. When this is done, I have a BuzzFeed one about which Harry Potter house you are. So get ready for that. Spoiler, it gets pretty Slytherin-y.
Wait, you just told me I'm in Slytherin?
Shit. Okay, go ahead. What's the result of the quiz?
You are a big jazz boy.
Oh, boy.
Nice job. You are a tremendous big jazz boy. You blast huge on the bugles and it never ends for you. You are in love with jazz. When the drums are tap, tap, tapping and the upright bass is shrieking, Larbo, 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 and the sweet saxophone sonorously cues, Sherlack, Skerlack, Skerlack. Those are the moments that you feel huge. Oh, my sweet, tremendous boy. You are bursting at the seams with trumpet jelly. You are filled to the brim with the trumpet jelly always. Your saxophone is loud, and it scares the animals in their cages. When God falls asleep, you wake him up with your big jazz boy bugle blast from below. And I am so, so grateful to know this about you. Congratulations.
Big jazz,
beautiful jazz boy.
And the thing about jazz is it's the notes they don't play.
So American Pie presents.
I think let's talk about this movie. It was fine. It was fine. We've just bludgeoned ourselves with the series. Like normally we would like rank them, but I just like my ranking of this is I'm tired of American Pie, and I need to acknowledge my responsibility. Leading us down this path.
I was still looking at that picture of the saxophone. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. But apparently they're selling a professor on eBay who has a saxophone.
I'm sorry, they're selling a professor?
Here, let me show you this. I'm going to do this again. Yeah, please
show me. This is good. More screen sharing in the podcast. It's popping.
So,
I see. Professor Taishan, silver nickel ebb baritone saxophone.
So you can buy a man for $1,600, and he comes with a saxophone.
And 2 necks? Like you can pick which neck he uses?
I don't know. Yeah, plus 2 necks. Do you want to bid on this?
I've heard of getting neck.
I haven't.
But getting 2 necks? Now I'm just looking at it looks like a stain.
Yeah.
It looked like a stain.
I was just doing some design work, don't worry about it.
I was a little concerned about it. It looked like a stain.
It did look pretty bad, but that's why I leave it on the computer and not in my, I don't know. Where would I put that? I don't know. Fucking, who cares?
So let me ask you this. Now, I told you earlier I had huge news for the podcast.
You did. You said something about Emmett wearing a vest, and then you said, I have huge news for the podcast.
Well, the thing with Emmett wearing a vest is the vest has been a perennial coding device for a dork.
Forever.
For some time now.
Remember 500 Days of Summer?
For a little bit, vests were cool, and then they were uncool pretty quickly. There was like a short window of cool. Like, I feel like the Jonas Brothers wore vests. You know what I mean?
So I've been watching a lot more football lately, and it seems like sports announcers also think the triple... What's it called? The 3-piece suit? Yeah, the 3-piece suit is cool. And it's like the only place you see it in real life is in sports announcing.
Or at a wedding, though you won't be seeing that from me at my wedding.
No, what are you wearing? Just shorts and a hoodie?
Yeah, I'm wearing a dope-ass streetwear. It's like it's a mid-90s Fish tour shirt reimagined if it was Bart Simpson smoking a bong. And nice. Bernie Sanders is on it. And I'm wearing shorts that are just coated in semen and marijuana.
Oh, I got some of those.
Leaves. No, I'm wearing, this is coming out after my wedding. So I'm wearing, I got a Canadian tuxedo. I got a white denim jacket and white denim pants. They're brand new.
Oh my God, I can't wait. A cool
floral shirt. I have a cool flower medallion. Allison got a bespoke dress that some seamstress in Kiev made for her. And I don't know a lot about the Ukraine other than that it's probably damp over there. So I hope the dress isn't damp. That's my big hope.
You just don't want a damp dress.
I don't want a damp dress. If she shows up in a damp dress, I will have to reconsider what I say on that day. But I'll be looking like a lost member of the Flying Burrito Brothers, which is really my goal in life at this point.
Exciting.
Now that I'm 30, I'm super excited. But yes, also you see 3-piece suits on fancy waiters in restaurants before they are splattered with soup by some rude little boy or girl.
That's good. Yeah.
Don't spill the soup. There's probably saying no kids in the fancy restaurant.
No, you can have kids in a fancy restaurant.
I don't think so. No, I think a fancy restaurant is for adults to go and drink what? Oh, we're going to drink old grape juice and piece of animal? You ever think about this shit? It's just crazy.
It's so fucking weird, man. I mean, I'm vegan, so at least I don't have to eat the animal part.
Oh, you're vegan? What? Hold on,
Yeah.
everyone. Do you guys know this? You hear this? You hearing this? Charles
You
is
want
vegan.
to give it a little boop, 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 boop announcement? Hey.
Breaking election news, election forecast coming in. Charles declared vegan.
And he's running for governor.
And he's running for governor on the everyone must smoke marijuana ticket.
So it seems we are a little bit spent, and I don't know. I don't even know where we're at. Are we already asking when will it end? Are we doing MVPs? Like, do we have enough time to even talk about the movie at this point, or do we want to just like get cracking?
I think respectfully we can say this is worse than Blockers, but better than, I don't know, 7 of the other American Pie movies.
So this is the thing, is that it's worse than Blockers. It's not as good as the modern day teen sex comedy that we've come to appreciate, but it's good. It's actually like, it's a fun movie, and I think the best thing you can say about it is that you do not need any of the previous movies to enjoy this one.
I'm going to revise what I just said. This is probably the best American Pie
It's the best
movie.
American Pie movie.
Which is crazy, because it's like, I don't know.
It's not crazy.
This is a C minus, maybe.
Yeah. I gave it 3 stars, I think, on Letterboxd. But Josh, is not crazy because we have figured out that the people who created this movie were writing in a time period where most of the shit that is not uncomfortable and doesn't age well was fine. And it was also, I don't know, like the first one worked in a lot of ways, but it's still very uncomfortable and not funny when they get to the 10-minute tit scene.
Right.
And since that's a huge part of it and it defines his character, you always have to think of Jim as
a sex monster.
A sex monster, yeah.
Right, who then does seriously get close to fucking a child in the final installation of the Jim run.
Jesus Christ!
I think what we've learned over the course of this series is that nostalgia is toxic and we should avoid it at all costs. It's very bad, but it's comforting that the series can end on the note of we can make a raunchy sex comedy that is not strictly about rape and horrific fetishization and objectifying it. Like, it's nice that you can make a fun, raunchy sex comedy that is very raunchy and has plenty of dumb jokes, and yet isn't a hate crime or a war crime situation. And you know what? Maybe that's all we can aspire to. A mainstream comedy that doesn't go to the lowest possible common denominator of boorish cultural fascism every single time.
And so it was funny. I laughed. I think I laughed more than I think I still laughed more in band camp, but this was funny. I really liked the principal character. I liked all the main characters, and I thought Grant's, the way he was used, no one else, can you imagine if in the first movie Nadia has a scene where she's like, fuck you for convincing me to come into your bedroom while you were filming me? No, she chats him up later and still wants to fuck him. This has a scene where he's like, wait, all of you wanted to fuck me and you're having a game about who could fuck me first? This is gross and disgusting. I'm leaving.
Yeah, it's nice that the object of desire has a very clear articulated emotional presence, which is basically has been lacking from the entire series before.
Yeah, and so it was really nice to see a movie about friendship and a movie where, obviously, yes, this movie is woke to the point of being silly and irritating almost. It is so desperately trying to not be like any of the other ones that it definitely goes a little bit overboard. But at the end of the day, it's about friends that want the best for each other. And it was really nice when, even though Stephanie still sort of wants Grant at the end, she's like, oh, wait, he likes Annie and Annie likes Grant. Then I'm going to get out of the way and I'm going to do my best to make this shit happen. And it just, it was a very comforting movie. It was fun. And I had a great time. I wish I'd watched it with Amy. I think she might have liked it too. It was definitely, I live in a house with 4 other people. My roommate, Evan, he works in the basement where I watch movies and record this podcast. And I felt fucking embarrassed watching most of these movies. And I'd find times when I knew nobody was going to be home or coming downstairs. And this one, I was like, oh, I wish I'd invited more people to join me.
People sometimes, I feel like I talk a lot in this show, but I just let you talk for over a minute straight. And it was just interminable. It was just endless for me.
I'm sorry.
That's one of the bigger...
Sorry. Not...
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I totally agree with what you're saying. I would say as a double feature with Blockers, watch this
Yeah.
first, then watch Blockers. You've got a fun little double feature. It's nice to see, like, though this ostensibly has women competing for a man's affection, which on paper seems like, oh boy, but like they actually, I thought very successfully. I mean, one set it up very clearly where when everyone peels off for their right person, it's pretty well telegraphed for some time. And the ultimate sense of camaraderie and niceness of it, it avoided a lot of the obvious pitfalls. It's perfectly serviceable. Certainly for a Netflix original, this deserves like an Oscar. I mean, like I just didn't. It just wasn't dog shit. It's nice. I'm going to go ahead and get to this, Charles. I am saying when will it end because it's probably not going to get a lot better than this. Please just end it now. Just so recently in this film's series, this franchise's life, were we just at our wits' end with how bad its worst elements are, that if you can go out with a serviceable high school sex comedy, congratulations. You, sir, have won the internet today. Or should I say, you, ma'am, have won the internet today.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm also asking when will it end for a similar reason, but also because I don't like American Pie. I just don't like it. I like Oz. I like Finch. I don't like Jim, and I don't like Kevin. It's like, and I don't give a fuck. I like Matt Stifler. 3 characters, and of course, the god that we've come to love, Eugene Levy. But we realize that Eugene Levy sort of transcended the series so much that I don't even know, because he went down when it got bad too. So he's not even something that I can really admire.
Well, they thought they could plug all of their holes with Eugene Levy in some of the direct-to-video ones, and sometimes it was great to see him show up. Other times it felt like it, dragged him down. I speak, of course, of Beta House.
Yeah, so...
And let that be the last time we speak of the hated
Well, no,
Beta
we're going to have
House.
to rank them. Well, no, that's true. We all know where
We don't
that
have
one...
to rank them. It's fine.
No, I want to rank them.
Fine, okay.
At least do the
Fine.
top 3 or something. I don't know, but we're going to get there. I just want to say, I'm asking when will it end because what I've come to realize is that I fucking hate American Pie. I don't need movies based on American Pie. You can have a fucking raunchy teen sex comedy in Michigan and just not call it American Pie, and I will more watch it than American Pie 10.
Wow.
So yes, let this be over. We're done with it. I never want to think about pie fuckers. I never want to think about sex. I just don't want these people in my world anymore. They all are awful people or boring people. Let them be cast aside to make room for a Blockers 2. I want more of that. I don't want anything else in this universe.
Yeah. Well said. I agree. We've really, oh boy. This was just a lot. It was a lot. Let's get to the rankings. Let's just go from best to worst. One, honestly, I would watch this a second time, which is more than I can say about any other film in the series at this point. So congratulations, American Pie Presents: Girls Rules. You are the best movie in the American Pie canon simply because everything else is so tainted with misery. So it's a win.
Yeah, I think we should just alternate back and forth because I think mostly we'll be on point. Maybe you can help me out. I will make the decision on my own, but I have a very soft spot for American Pie Presents Bandcamp. And for me, this might have been the best movie, but I think it was also a little bit cheap in some ways in that how everything fit together so perfectly, where Bandcamp did have a much more, even though it was still based on rape, and was sort of disgusting, the main character learns from his mistakes and does everything he can to do better. It's funny. It has much more connection to the world of American Pie. I'm answering my own question. I think I'm going to give number 4, American Pie Presents Bandcamp, my number 1 pick, the best in the series.
Okay, I respect that. I have to, you'll see where it shows up in my list. You find the intensity of Matt Stifler to be refreshing. I do find that to be a bit of an emotionally taxing journey. As much as I agree with you, it has a weird amount of verve to it. So my number 2.
I guess I just think 4 takes more risks.
We're going to talk about 4 more.
Okay, well, for me, the reason why it's the best is that it takes more risks as a series overall, and the arc of the story is about, it's much more intense, and I do like the Matt. Matt's my favorite Stifler. Anyway, What's number 2 for you?
Any opportunity to go on it. We've done an entire episode about 4. We get you like 4. You love Matt Stifler. He's your favorite Stifler. Congratulations. Mine is Stephanie because she seems kind of cool.
Yeah, she's cool too.
And the most important trait in a woman is to be willing to pretend to like jazz.
Yes, but again, we talked about this earlier. The fact that she doesn't end up liking jazz. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker, Stephanie. And I'm sure it's harrowing for this fictional high schooler to hear that her lack of appreciation for America's second greatest invention after baseball.
Josh, I hear she's a big fan of the show too, so this is gonna be a big letdown.
Oh, fuck. My number 2 pick is the first American Pie because I think we get a lot of Natasha Lyonne. We get a lot of Tara Reid. It is a weirdly, almost anachronistically sweet movie, other than, of course, the much discussed, we do not need to get back into this, the scene where they non-consensually film Nadia. She is, for the record, relatively unfazed by that, to Nadia's credit. I think it's a classic for a reason. Jim's dad is introduced in such a charming and lovable way and creates the pantheon of his godliness that we would later explore. So like that again, to go back to that and be like, oh, this is like a more than functional, more than adequate comedy that's aged shockingly well. I've got to give it my number 2 for the series.
Yeah. So I'm going to give my 2 and 3 because it's number 9 and number 1. They're very similar movies. You both meet new people and you learn to love them and you get to figure out what's going on and see how they grow and become connected. Number 9 for me was just more fun. I like the characters more and I feel like their friendship was much stronger. But number 1 was great. I really think that for all of its limitations aside, it is the best of the core universe for sure. And it is a good teen sex comedy.
Well, this is the beauty of this podcast, because what we're learning is that these foundational movies and these franchise movies really have this incredibly dynamic relationship where American Pie 2 is, I guess, probably my 4th behind Bandcamp, because Bandcamp takes the whole tone in such a radically weird way that I guess we really learned something with our ongoing thesis about this, which I think speaks to that. Like we can have the number 1 foundational one be in the top 3 for both of us, but it's not our number 1 pick for either of us. So there isn't this degradation. I loved 9, you loved 4. Like it's interesting. Like I think we are walking away with some sort of step forward for our ongoing project.
Yeah. So wait, you gave Bandcamp your number 3 slot and American Pie 2 number 4.
Right, because I think Bandcamp is very weird, very memorable, and certainly of all of the direct-to-video ones, not counting 9, which is a direct-to-Netflix one, it's definitely, for the Stifler family, I like that the episode, the season, oh my God, listen to me, my brain is shattered by this.
That's all right.
The 4th movie, you're like, oh God, like, is somehow Matt Stifler even worse than Stifler? And Matt actually turns out to be a shockingly nuanced character, played with verve by Tad Hingelbrinker. And though we never see Tad again, he stays in our hearts forever.
Or hear back from him, even though we left him a nice voicemail.
We left him a nice voicemail. I don't think we'll be hearing back from it. And the email bounced to his acting workshop website. So hitting a dead end there. Anyway, so yeah. So my ranking so far is 9, 1, 4, and my 4th pick is 2, because I think 2 is just competent and basically the same as the first movie. Similarly cringy moments. I like that Jim glues his hand to his penis. That's amusing to me. And it's just fine. And I had no real complaints about it. So that steals slot number 4. It gets dicey after this.
Yes, this is where I'm trying to figure out what to do. But I would also agree that American Pie 2 is my 4th pick. But then we have left. What do we have left? We have American Wedding and American Reunion from the original series. And then we have The Naked Mile, The Unnamed One, and The Book of Love. And this is
I
where...
remember nothing about The Book of Love. I don't remember a single thing about it. Oh, okay. That's with Cream. What's the kid? There's the nerdy kid Lube. The guy just named Lube. Yeah. Okay. That fucking owns. That goes up a notch in my book.
That's the one where they go to Canada. That's the one where they try to recreate the Book of Love. I'm going to
that one had some really upsetting stuff in it from my vantage point.
Did, but I'm going to jump ahead, and maybe this will haunt me for the rest of my life, but I think I'm going to put The Book of Love in the 5th slot because Eugene Levy was back. It was funnier than 3 and 4. I honestly, the way that Stifler is like brought to this level of savior and like he does so much wrong and yet the films love him so much. I think 3 and 4 are going to be right there at the bottom with Beta House because Stifler sucks and he just gets away with shit, where in the first 2 he didn't. And the Book of Love, I don't think, well, it was complicated and had some weird shit in it. I think overall it was much less, I don't know. I remember nothing, but I'm going to say Book of Love is my number 5.
I'm going to disagree with you here. I actually don't mind American Wedding. It's not great, but it's not bad. There's nothing in it that I genuinely like. And I love Sean William Scott. I just love him. I think he is a delightful...
You love him. You're part of the problem.
Well, no, the biggest part of the problem is Adam Hertz, the creator of the concept of Stifler, who unleashed a cultural holocaust onto the rest of us. So I'm going to give my number 5 slot will go to American Wedding, followed by, and this is just, it just goes down so quickly, followed by American Reunion, because like, it's just, I can't possibly, Naked Mile and... No, I forgot Book of Love. God damn it.
Yeah, you did. Where are you going to put the Book of Love? I mean,
Fuck.
American Reunion was impotent and boring.
Okay, let me revise that. 5 goes to American Wedding. 6 goes to the Book of Love.
Yeah.
Because I like that there's a character named Lube, and that by itself wins it a lot of credit in my book.
He was funny, too. I liked that actor.
Yeah. That is followed by American Reunion, which is a deeply flawed movie and yet nowhere near as bad as The Naked Mile and The Unnamed One. 2 movies that introduce and create a universe so harrowing and cold and loveless and genuinely psychically damaging that I could not conceivably tie them to anything else in the franchise.
Yeah. So I agree with you. The bottom 2 picks are 5 and 6 in that order. And I am going to go 4, so 7, 4, 3. It was interesting. We went first, second, and third for you was 9, 1, 4. First, second, and third for me was 4, 9, 1. So same 3 movies in a different order. And then we both agreed that number 2 is 4th. And then we both agreed that number 5 and 6 were 8th and 9th. And then we just switched around 3, 7, and 4, and 7, 4, and 3. So we are in the same page in a lot of ways, but there's things that we like about different Stiflers. I think Stifler, at the end of the day, is going to decide what you fucking do with the series, which Stifler you like the best, which ones you hate, because basically becomes a Stifler franchise rather than an American Pie franchise.
It does. And I think Stephanie Stifler is a nice step in the right direction towards rehabbing the family name to some degree. Like, it's nice to know that, like, as the Stiflers, like a Lovecraftian presence, just persist onward throughout history. That maybe, like, there's that old quote that obviously has been proven wrong about, like, the history moving in a like, justice, the older we...
What was this quote?
To justice go up like a big old curve the older we all get, which I don't think is true. I think it's obviously it's a trash world. But, yes, again, just to make this very clear, the Stifler family must be exterminated. And I'm sorry, Stephanie, I wish it didn't include you, but that genetic line must be wiped out.
I don't know. I think both Matt and she are the youngest of Stiflers, and they are showing that the new breed of Stiflers might have some hope for the future. They're learning from the culture. They're woke. They're being better. And I don't want to just throw away the Stiflers. I think they have things to offer when they're not awful rapists. So I think we can keep a Stifler or 2 around.
All right, fair enough. I mean, maybe I'm being a Stifler ideologically if I say that Stiflers can't get better over time.
Can you answer me one question before we move on?
Please.
The ending was confusing to me. Stephanie is not a virgin. She just hasn't had meaningful sex. Like when she finally fucks the big penis man, boy, whatever
Emmett,
his Emmett, she's like, well, actually, just so you know, I've never had sex either. Because he's like, I'm afraid I've never used this giant thing before. And she goes,
my big old wiener hog, yeah.
Emmett, I haven't done it either. And then she's like, but I mean, I didn't understand. Has she never had sex, or just she has never had sex with people that she's loved?
I think she's putting on a big front like Stiflers are prone to, and then in reality, she's just as vulnerable as the rest of us.
Right.
And it's a telling moment about how Stephanie presents herself to the world, the expectations of being a Stifler, the pressure to have sex, and the reality, which is that she, in fact, has not had sex yet, and it's good she waited for Emmett because he got a big old hog.
Humma humma. And I do like that, what was her name? Michelle? One of the four who loves JFK. I do love that she pegs the little boy with a JFK dildo. I mean, we don't see it.
That was a bad bit.
You didn't like that bit?
I didn't like that bit. I thought it took the whole thing in a weird, like, I get that he's a sub. That was pretty clear. He telegraphs that. But that whole, and the JFK thing, like, I think in 2020 for the nerd to be obsessed with JFK feels like a little out of touch. She's like a young Latina woman, and she's like, my favorite politician is, like, she's a young Latina woman in the 21st century, and, like, we're not talking about AOC or Ariana Presley or Ilhan Omar. Like, there's like a whole generation of young women.
They love history, okay? I mean, there is something nice and revitalizing about the new figures, but
oh God, what if she's a Hillary stan or something?
What makes you more horny? Someone that you can actually fuck, or someone that you know is dead who cannot fuck?
Yeah, you raise a good point. The idea of fucking a man from Massachusetts.
I've heard about this movie theater. It's the best movie theater in the world, and it's free. Okay.
Hold on. Look, this is okay. When I go to see a movie, I'm used to paying money, buying a ticket, or
what, $20
or 25, 30. Maybe I'm subscribing to friggin' Netflix.com to watch American Pie Presents : Girls Rules. You know, and all this costs money. What are you talking about, my friend?
Josh,
what is this you're talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's free, and you know what? They're showing a movie right now called JFK Will Fuck You After Making His Famous Speech, and it's in your imagination.
Wow. Okay, we need to end the podcast. It's election night in America. I've got to go home, and then I've got to come back and be on the radio and talk about, actually, the thing about the voting is. So let's get down to it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Beta House is the worst thing of all time.
No, you invented MVPs. We got to blitz out of here. We need your series MVP, and we need your American Pie Presents : Girls Rules MVP.
Okay, American Pie Presents Girls Rules : MVP presents is probably the principal, because I like that she's a horny principal. She's going to do sex with someone's dad, and it's, raises a lot of questions they don't really trouble themselves with, and I just like that she was sort of fun and doing sex with one of her students' dads and like in front of her literally. And that's a cool principal.
I was going to choose her too. I really like I don't know, they're sex stores. I had a friend who worked at a sex store, but it turned out that the sex store was bad, and now there's a boycott against them. So if you live in the greater Boston area, don't go to Good Vibrations. But that aside, I do like that it's like shows you that the sex store, which is like people make fun of it, people are embarrassed by it, and they really are. Like, she was an educator, she taught classes. Like, it is a really cool place where you can learn a lot about sexuality and feel comfortable and get something that really makes you feel good. So yes, the fact that she's basically like the goddess of the sex store, becomes the president of the school. She's great. So since you've taken her, I don't like choosing it unless you're like someone really deserves it. And I think a lot of people could take MVP this time, and I'm just going to give it to Stephanie Stifler.
Yeah, that's she earned it.
She's great. She's a great Stifler. I know Tad fucking is the best, but she's the best Stifler. She loves her friends. She learns to love herself, and she learns to love that giant fucking dick. So, Stephanie, even though you hate jazz, which is why I would have given it to the principal, but you earned my MVP, and I'll just pretend that you love jazz.
Okay, and then relatively perfunctorily, I will say the series MVP goes to a rugged room.
Who is it?
MILF guy number 2, John Cho, won my heart. He won my mind. His reemergence in American Reunion, I thought, was easily the best part of that movie. The fact that one character who appeared in all 13 years of the original canonic franchise run could come back and just steal my heart away shows that quietly, lurking in the back of my subconscious, the man whose urine Stifler chugs in American Pie 2 is the series MVP.
I know it's weird. I think it makes sense, even though we just did Reunion and we already reuned. But I'm going to do the same thing that we did in Reunion, because we thought this was a Stifler franchise, and when it is a Stifler franchise, it was really bad. And what we realized was that 30 seconds of American Reunion made me cry, made me feel good about watching all of these fucking movies so that I could have a cathartic moment like that where I see MILF Guy number 1 and MILF Guy number 2 hash it out and say MILF together one last time. So I don't even remember his name, but MILF Guy number 1 gets my series MVP to go along with yours.
Beautiful.
And we can exit this episode maybe just by chanting MILF. Or maybe DILF?
Well, hold on. Can we say... We'll chant both MILF and DILF back and forth. But can we introduce the next series, or have we figured that out yet?
We have figured it out, and I think you know what it is.
Charles, what is our next series that we're going to watch that is no longer American Pie? Please tell me now.
It could be anything. I don't even give a fuck.
Yeah.
We're just going to watch anything we want.
I'd watch scat porn rather than watch a 10th American Pie movie.
We are going to watch... Wait, are you talking scat? Like jazz? Of course I'd watch a jazz movie. We are going to do the trilogy starring Ben Stiller.
Ooh.
Called Night at the Museum.
At the museum. Okay, on that note, we'll see you next week. Please email us your thoughts on American Pie, the movie film series.
Subscribe
and of course,
at patreon.com/WWIE podcast.
Yes. And now, as we said, MILF,
DILF, MILF, DILF, MILF, DILF, MILF, DILF, MILF, DILF, MILF, DILF, MILF, DILF, MILF, DILF.
I don't care. Some my baby down by the river. She gonna have to come up soon for air. Thank you. That can't be good. Are you recording? This is good pre-roll. Why are you not recording?
I'm recording. Now I had to unplug my mic.
Uh-oh. It's trouble in Charlestown. By that I don't mean actual Charlestown, because that is a place.
That's really close. There might be trouble.
Trouble in there's trouble all over this US of A, and by that I mean Orange Man trouble.
Orange Man trouble. We got the Orange Man trouble.
Lighting. We got the Orange Man trouble. Oh, that's a little better. Okay, ready to go?
Oh, shit.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Pull out your penis. Pull out your penis. Pull out your penis.
My penis?
Pull out your penis. Pull out your penis. Pull out your penis.
All right, yeah.
You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
One sec, my fucking fiance. Okay, ready?
Yeah, let's
Ready?
do it. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.